Lots of love to Aleeza, Kazmi.
Thank you. Hi. So I'm 6 years old and I'm in the first grade and I'm sitting at a table with my three best friends. And we're all really similar. We all wear the same clothes from the children's place that our moms buy us. And we play on the monkey bars during recess, and we play house underneath the playground at St. Catherine's Park, which was behind our elementary school. And all of our names start with A. There's Anna, Amanda, Ashaya, and Aleeza. And we're working on self-portraits, and this is sort of an icebreaker project of the first grade. And my teacher, Miss Harrington, presented it as like a way to get to know each other's faces. These were going to be hung up on the wall. And I was really excited because we were on our third day of self-portraits, and we were going to color them in finally. And I was super excited about this because my mom had bought me a coloring book over the summer, and I learned how to color inside the lines. And I learned all these, really excited about that. And I learned all these really cool techniques for how to draw properly, and I was basically young Picasso, and I was ready to show off my skills to my friends. And I knew this was an extremely special project because Miss Harrington had brought out oil pastels. And every table got one box. And every box had one of each color. And I love oil pastels because they're really soft, and so I used to take them and pinch them between my fingers and like feel them melt into my skin almost. And because there was one of each color in every box, you had to be patient and wait for your color to not be used. And the color I wanted was being used. I was ready to color in my face. And all of my friends had colored in their face peach, and since we were all the same girl, I figured I would use peach as well. So finally, peach was available, and I color in my face, and I'm going slowly, and I'm watching the oil pastel melt into the paper, and I color inside the lines. And it's beautiful, and I look down, and this self-portrait, this girl I had just drawn is exactly how I see myself. It's like I'm looking into a mirror, and I'm proud. And I feel Miss Harrington, my teacher, looking over my shoulder, and I get really excited because Miss Harrington loved it when people drew well. And I was like, she's going to say to me that she's going to hang it above her desk so that when people came in, they knew that I drew this amazing portrait. And I was getting ready for her to compliment me, and instead she looks down and she says, "Aleeza, that's not your color." And I'm confused by this because I don't understand how colors can belong to people. And so I start panicking, and I'm like, was I not supposed to use the oil pastels? Did I do something wrong? What did I do wrong? I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't find a way to ask her, and she didn't explain further. She just grabbed the oil pastel box and started looking through it, didn't find the color she was looking for, and so she went to the crayon bin. And now, every elementary school had this infamous crayon bin where it was like little bits and pieces of broken up crayon that were unwrapped and disgusting and like mixed together over years and years and years and never went away. And I never used crayons. I always used markers or color pencils or something. But Miss Harrington went to the crayon bin, and she's rummaging through it, and she pulls out this crayon, and it's this nub of a brown crayon that's unwrapped and gross, and Miss Jill Harrington hands it to me, and she says, "Aleeza, this is your color." And I still don't understand it because how can colors belong to people? But I can't figure out a way to ask her, and so I take it, and she tells me to color in my face. And so I do, but crayon and oil pastel don't mix together, and they're not friends, and they don't want to be on the same page together. And so I'm pushing in this crayon, and I'm going in all different directions and trying to make it mix with the peach, but it's not doing it. And I'm coloring outside of the lines now, and I've colored into my eye and my lips, and now there's red on my chin, and I'm panting, and Anna, Shai, and Amanda are all staring at me, and I'm embarrassed, and when I'm done, I look down, and I'm this grotesque monster that can't decide if it wants to be peach or brown, and I want to scream at Miss Jill Harrington, "Please do not hang this up. I'll do it again. I'll do it your way this time." But she grabs my self-portrait before I'm able to say anything, and she puts it into the pile with all of my even-toned, beautiful peach friends, and it's hung up on the wall. And I go home that night, and I ask my mom, like, why am I not allowed to be peach? And she explains it to me as well as a mother can to a 6-year-old who's going through an identity crisis. I'm not peach and your dad isn't peach, and so she does her best, but I still don't understand it, and I don't want to ask her because I don't want to sound stupid because everyone else seems to understand this concept of color, but I cannot wrap my head around it. And so I put this idea on a shelf, and I don't think about it again until the 6th grade, when I'm in a new school, and we're all asking each other questions like, where did you go to elementary school, and what's your favorite book, and just trying to get to know each other a little bit. And this one boy comes up to me and he asks me, what race are you? Which might be a complex question. Some people, they can't look at me and know what race I am. And I didn't know what race I was because I never really thought about it. And so I'm trying to look for an answer, and I think back to Miss Jill Harrington and that brown nubby crayon, and I tell him I'm brown. And he looks at me and he's so confused and he says, what do you mean you're brown? Brown isn't a race. And I find the words finally, and they come up, and this little 6-year-old me inside is screaming, and then now I'm screaming, and I'm saying, who are you to tell me what I am? If I say I'm brown, then I'm brown, and deal with it. So this boy never spoke to me again, which is fine because I finally found the words and was able to stand up for myself.